Happy Sunday, May 24th, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to ScreenPlayers podcast replay. This past Thursday, we talked about our first ever experience with free online games, from battle royales such as Fortnite to mobile games like Pokemon Go. Before we get into that, let's talk news quickly. Mafia Definitive Edition will come out on the 28th of August for PS4, Xbox One, as well as PC. Now, this is a full remake of the first Mafia game. That's right, it's a remake, not a remaster like the other two. And you will also be able to purchase the entire trilogy if you'd like. Also, the Epic Games Store keeps on handing over freebies left, right and center. At the moment, you can grab Civilization 6 for free. Once again, just add it to your library and it will be there forever. I am not a fan of the genre personally, but it's supposed to be a good game. And it's free. Remember though, you have time up until May 28th to add that game to your library. Because May 28th, we will get another free game, and I'm pretty curious to see what game that will be. Moving on, last week, VentureBeat's reporter Jeff Grubb stated that Sony will be holding an event on June 4th where they will reveal the PlayStation 5 as well as announce some games. He amended his prediction just a few days ago, now saying that Sony has postponed the event to a more generic early June. Funnily enough, Sony did confirm an event for the 3rd of June, and this is the Days of Play, so a little different from what Jeff Grubb was probably expecting. There will be discounts on great recent games such as Death Stranding and Neo 2, just to name two, as well as PlayStation hits like The Last of Us. Subscription services such as PS Plus and PS Now will also be discounted, and there will be some deals involving hardware such as the PSVR. And I'm sure they'll throw in a DualShock and maybe a PlayStation. The Days of Play will start June 3rd for North America, and it will kick off early, May 25th for Europe, Australia and New Zealand. With the latest news out of the way, let me leave you to our little chat about free online games. Claudio, what's up?
Yeah, you may notice that the background
changed.
Your background changed. Different.
You're in a cottage somewhere in the mountains.
Yeah, I literally changed the nation. I am in Italy as of now, in our motherland. Guys, our beloved Sardinia. Actually,
you're with Mamma, Claudio.
I'm with Mamma, exactly.
How was the journey? Was it really tough actually to travel?
The journey was atrocious. Actually, I had to take 3 flights. I passed, so I went from the Netherlands to Germany, passing via Rome to Cagliari eventually.
Oh, so you toured Europe, huh?
I toured Europe. I think I was not infected before the start of this trip. I think
now you
infected.
are. Yeah,
I'm pretty positive.
Sure. So you had a lot of time to play games, Claudio. This is what you were telling us, right?
Exactly the one I'm gonna talk about.
Interesting.
Okay.
Lemmy, what's up?
Good. So same old week here in Spain. We are still in phase 0. Nothing to do. And I have started a new game. I've started Heavy Rain, which I missed when it came out.
Heavy Rain, yeah, I actually missed it as well. How is the game? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah. I haven't been used to play graphic adventures like Heavy Rain. So I have to change a little bit the chip, let's say. Also, it's slower. Action. There is action, but anyway. So it's fine. I'm enjoying it. It's short, and it's that kind of game where you basically don't die. You just play the game. You don't die. There is no such concept of dying and reload from a save.
Right.
So in that sense, yeah.
Okay. So okay. Not sure I got what you mean. But all right. Well, I'm gonna actually check it out as soon as you finish it. To be honest with you. Yeah. So you recommend it so far?
Yes. But again, if you're used to play these kind of games that we speak typically, you have to understand that it's different. You have to take it with another philosophy, but it's very cool. The story, you have to take it more like the story, how it progresses, how it evolves, and so on.
Cool.
And the story is cool. The story is very cool.
I have to say, little introduction here. I don't really play free games. I don't really find them most of them at least, I don't really find them all attractive. I mainly play single player story driven stuff, so I'm not used to playing with other people. I'm not used to play games that don't have a story, where you're just basically, I don't know, looting and shooting, or just growing your, I don't know, firepower somehow. So I'm not really used to the concept, but during this lockdown, I kind of like got curious about a game that I'd never tried before, and that was Fortnite. Now, I know that you guys know what I'm talking about, because you guys are some of the people who are, who played Fortnite with me. And should you play Fortnite if you've never played Fortnite? You are on a bus in the sky, and you start the game like this. This is like the most classic battle royale mode, and you basically just, parachute yourself into the island. That's how that's how I would put it. You just go like
typical setting.
Yeah, just go like setting. Yeah, everybody, and you just jump in anywhere in the island. That's the map, and. Other than that, really and truly, is everyone on their own, right? So, well, except if you have people on your team. In this case, you can play with 4. I was playing with 3, with another 2 teammates here. The Cuckoo's brothers.
Oh, yeah, I see now. Playing Automatico and Joker.
Exactly. So my strategy was, for those of you who don't know, this is Deadpool's yacht. Usually it's a very good spot to get some great weapons straight on. I wasn't very lucky this time, because I saw a lot of people going for it. So it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to the very rear of the boat, kill a few of these bots henchmen, grab a few weapons, and then that's it. But I wasn't very, very lucky, because as you can see, I'm killing the first bot, and the weapon that he got was like real shit. It's a like green pistol. And then pretty much from there on, I didn't find anything. Because like there's a chest over here, so you'll find all these chests scattered all around the map. You'll open the map, find ammos, bombs, and rifles. So once again, green rifle. For those of you who don't know, purple and golden weapons are actually the best ones. Then it's blue, and then finally green and grey. So you see another pistol here. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm actually gonna dash it. So I went dolphin style for the island to the Cuckoo's brothers. You can see them right there. Found another chest here. But
shield potion.
Yeah, shield potion. So I mean, when I tried Fortnite for the first time, I thought it was gonna be frenetic and a lot of shooting. But boy, was I wrong. Obviously I condensed the whole thing here, and there's a lot of tearing materials down. Like, a lot of that. So, before you see an enemy, or before it gets actually frenetic, it might take a while.
I mean, there are 2 styles of playing, though, because we can say that we are somewhat veteran right now, and we prefer to go to the outer rim of the map, let's say, where there are less people but more weapons. I think this is a more strategic way of playing, even more boring for us.
That's actually very good fun. That's how I've been playing as well, because I'm playing with you, so you know. But once again, swimming. There's a lot of traveling the way we play, and now someone just kills me. That's it. That was my game with the Cuckoo's brothers. Like you can see it. And then back to square one, right? So it's a repetitive game, back on the bus. Back into diving into the island, and so on and so forth. There's 100 people, and the last one standing, or the last team standing, wins.
You're landing in sweaty sand, I can see already.
Yeah, sweaty sands all the way, buddy.
I should point out I'm a big fan of Fortnite as well. I am perhaps the only big fan of Fortnite among the 3 of us right now.
Probably.
Yeah, for me it's nice. But again, I would like to stick to what you said earlier, Laura, that I also like pretty much to use my time with stories and more, let's say, with narrative video games and so on than this one. But it's fun. I mean, I played it, and it's fun to meet with you, to catch up with your friends, basically. So it's like this video call, but you don't see your face, you see everyone's avatar. and then you go to smash someone else. So I take it like that. If you take it like that, it's actually a nice game to play.
Yeah.
And it very rarely bugs or lags, or you don't wait a lot of time, never. So it's very smooth.
If you've never tried Fortnite ever, and you've never actually tried any of these games, free games ever, should you check Fortnite out? Well, one very good thing about Fortnite and these style of games, I would say, is that, especially during this lockdown, it's actually quite nice to spend time together in that sense. It's more of a social, the video game becomes a social experiment right now. But yeah, no, I'm like exactly like Daniela. I actually prefer, if I have the choice, then I'd prefer playing story-driven, narrative-driven games.
Yeah, but let's remember, it's free, right?
Yeah, it's free.
This is what the episode is all about, right? So
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it is a free game. Should you check it out? Yes, why not? The only two modes I usually play is either the battle royale, so you versus pretty much everyone else, and then this other mode, which is a little bit more frenetic, where you basically respawn every time you get killed, and it's on teams, right? So you've got two teams competing for the most kills overall. You can actually see the count around the right hand side of the screen. I don't know. Are you guys a fan of this particular method? I die a lot.
no, I think everyone dies more here than on the other.
You see the rocket launcher? Boom, on myself. I zero my shield.
That's what I'm saying. I have a long history of victories with the Cuckoo Brothers,
Really?
You should just play with us, guys. We would show you some tricks. I already saw that probably they showed you some tricks. Like the secret treasure chest on the beach. I saw that somebody was digging that. Probably not you.
What secret treasure chest on the beach?
Oh, there is a secret treasure chest under the pier on Sweaty Sands. You have to literally dig it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of the Cuckoo Brothers comments, Lorenzo, you find Fortnite boring.
Exactly.
To keep up the pace with the Cuckoos. Yeah.
Thank you, Carlo.
Sure,
He's
Carlo.
absolutely right.
Sure.
He's absolutely right.
I get beaten by children pretty much at this game.
Everyone gets. If you get beaten, it's probably by a child.
Yeah. And I was thinking there is a short version and a long version of this review. If we're gonna call it a review. It's available on all platforms. You can play on a mobile phone. You can play on a computer. You can play on PS4s, Xboxes, Android
Even
phones.
Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo
What do you know?
Switches.
Even
on that. And the best thing about Fortnite and a few other games, cross-platform and cross-play. So you can play with your friend, and you might be on a PS4, they might be on a Nintendo Switch. Now that is a big thing for Fortnite. That's probably one of the best things about Fortnite. You literally is universally available, and it's free, and it's just amazing, to be honest with you. The short version of this, you can get some fun with Fortnite, because let's face it, what do? You smash a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. You pretty much keep on smashing and destroying shit, like cubicles and shelves, and all of this because you want to gain materials, right? To maybe upgrade your weapon. When you go and upgrade your weapon, you realize you don't have enough materials. So then you go and smash again. And you smash walls. And you smash consoles. And you smash washing machines. I think. And perhaps, if you're lucky, you'll have enough materials in this instance, and you can maybe upgrade your shotgun. Here we go. Boom. So that's one of the things. Also, this guy plays Fortnite. And he has a Dodger on a backpack that I actually was petting. We're having the time of our lives in a lobby, as you can see. And who is this dude? I don't know. Should you play? Yeah, check it out. The next game is actually very, very different from the game that Danny and I, or better yet, Lemmy and I picked. So Claudio, why don't you tell us all about your next game? Your game, your chosen.
Similarly to Fortnite, which was discovered quite late, I would say, compared to when it came out. I'm gonna talk about a game that came out 4 years ago. It was a big sensation in the summer of 2016. And it's still on, actually, surprisingly enough. It's clearly with lesser numbers than once, but I'm talking about Pokemon Go, of course.
Woohoo.
Pokemon Go is a free game. I think it's still among the top 10 most profitable free games ever produced. It raised Nintendo's shares just from one day to another. Even if it's a mobile game, it's gonna work exclusively on your Android or iPhone.
I have a question. Do you actually feed your Pokemons?
Right, yeah. There is a function. This is actually one of the new features that got implemented only a few months ago, in which it works kind of like a Tamagotchi, for those of you who remember that stuff.
For those of you who are old enough for that.
You do have your own.
I still have one.
Right. Is it still alive?
I'm not.
Yeah, it's been alive for 15 years. Maybe 20.
But right, yeah. You do feed. You pick your own Pokemon, and you just walk with it. And you see it's gonna follow you, and it's gonna find stuff for you. You can take pictures with it. I mean, it's Pokemon. So I probably should have said this from the very beginning. I think this game is really thought for people like me, with a strong nostalgic value. People who played with the original cartridges on the Game Boy. I'm speaking of Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Silver. They came out in the 90s or late 90s. And I remember as a kid, that's what I wanted to see, was Pokemon in real life. This is the closest I guess we can get nowadays. So yeah, you just look around your room, this is a game, thought for the outdoor. It's a bit pathetic to play it indoor, indeed. But I was saying they did implement a lot of new functions specifically now for the lockdown. Because, as I was saying, this game is a pedometer game, is a step counter kind of game. The kind of game you should be able to play only because you're walking, and as you walk, you find new Pokemon, you catch them. It should motivate you, and it did motivate you to go around. But now that we're all stuck, they implemented new functions for which you can actually check these Pokestops, even if normally you should be just next to them. And they give you items, potions, revival items. And why am I saying potions and revivals? Because there are also fights. They finally implemented fights among trainers.
Fights?
I'm not sure that... Fights. You can finally fight. You can... Oh, by the way, yeah, check this out. There is my cat, but there is also Mudkip on my desk. What do you know? Yeah. You see, don't you see the cuteness factor here? This is the function I think that works the best right now. Like with this lockdown, the fact you cannot move, you can actually fight. You can look for opponents around, and you can fight them with the very Pokemon you have caught, and you basically stored for all of these years since 2016 without nothing much really to do. The lifespan of the game was kind of, it was gonna be soon terminated, I think, because there was really nothing much to do, nothing more to do. With this new feature, I do feel like playing this again, and as a matter of fact, I have been playing this quite a lot in the last 2 months, because you can literally fight opponents, as you see here. And there are again all the dynamics of Pokemon games that you may know or not, unless if you're not a fan, too bad for you. But there are the types, the elements. So for instance, this is a steel Pokemon, Skarmory, which is going to do damage to a rock Pokemon like the one I'm challenging here. And yeah, you charge your moves. You have the special moves that you can do with the touchscreen on your Android or iPhone again. For me, again, as a child who grew up with this is the closest I have to the experience, to the Game Boy experience. So once again, perhaps it's only me because I play those games, but there is a great nostalgic factor. To answer to the question I already know you're going to ask me, so should I download this game right now? It's for free again, so please feel free to. But unless you play those games, I would say no, because you're really not going to enjoy this very much. You're probably not going to understand many of the dynamics. It's just going to seem like a relatively simple fighting game. Yeah. And besides, the whole pedometer or step counter aspect of the game, it's kind of gone now until we are again free to walk around. But otherwise, I mean, it's another funny game also for those who are into collectible items.
What age were you when Pokemon were out? Because I have to say, my sister, which is like 2 years younger than me, she used to watch the
anime, actually.
Yeah, the anime. So, I never find them attractive, to be honest with you.
I was 11 when it came out.
Right.
I was in middle school, and I must say I don't know if lucky or unlucky, depending on your point of view, but I was in a class where a lot of people played with the Game Boy, and I actually could experience the game, I think, as it should be played, at least back in the days with the Game Boy. So we actually challenged each other during breaks. That's the thing, we were in a class where almost everyone was a nerd, and almost everyone played with the Game Boy. By the way, for those of you who are experts, this what I'm just doing here is a big mistake because I have a poison and fighting Pokemon against a psychic Pokemon. So it has a.
I noticed it. It was a terrible choice. Terrible choice. I just noticed it when
he died. I made it up with my next choice. Skarmory is resistant to psychic attacks. But anyway, to get back to my past, yeah, I played very much with Pokemon Yellow, which came out in '96, if I remember correctly.
Right.
When I played, yeah, it's a very old game. Now, when you think about it.
No, I remember. I remember the name. I just like the whole Pokemon thing kind of escaped me. I never realized how huge they are. Like I knew them because my sister used to watch the anime, but I never knew that there were lots of games. I had a Game Boy and I had no idea there was a Pokemon game back at the time. That's what I'm saying. So that's.
But it's funny because with this game, with Pokemon Go, it happened something similar to what happened to us with gaming in general. So I had, quite clearly moved away from Pokemon in the last 10, 15 years, even more. So I missed several generations because Pokemon apparently do exist in generations. There's the first, second, third. My understanding is that we are right to the 8th generation right now. And when this came out, I literally caught up with everything that I was missing in between. So probably there are a lot of youngsters playing these and they know the more recent ones better than I do. But I do know very well the old ones from my age, which, probably to them will seem just, those are from the 90s, those are the old ones.
Those are the...
Yeah.
But, once again...
It's a fascinating concept if you think about it. I mean...
I felt that, at least in the first year when it came out, when it was really a world sensation, I'm speaking now of Pokemon Go in particular, that summer of 2016, I did see in my city, in Utrecht, in the Netherlands, a lot of, let's say out of shape nerds that I'm positive never left their room who did go out for a walk because of this game. So from that point of view, I think the goal was reached.
That's a great thing. That's something actually I would highlight the main, that thing in particular, like, a video game actually doing something good, keeping you active, which is great. And Danny over here picked a game which is yet again different. So what did you pick, Dan? Tell us.
So I picked Destiny 2. So it falls into the context of 3 games thanks to the combination with Google Stadia, because you have Google Stadia free for 2 months, and Destiny 2 is part of the offer.
And by the way, we should say about that, the Stadia, you can get it free, but you have time up until the 3rd of June. After the 3rd of June, not free anymore. So if you want to redeem the 2 months for free, you gotta do it right now. Right.
And so I wanted to test Stadia, and Destiny 2 was like the big game that was included in this offer. And this way it looks like Fortnite because you see a third person, let's say, walking around.
Yeah.
But the main gameplay is actually a first-person shooter. Okay, set in like a future weird like a fantasy world you can see here. Like it's in the space. You travel from one planet to the other planet. You have the moon. Here you see the map. You can move from one another.
Yeah.
And you get missions, and then you go for it. Okay. So you actually, on the contrary with Fortnite, you actually play against the computer, so against an artificial intelligence, and you co-op with your peers. Okay. Yeah, except with other people, the real people. So rather than defeating other people, you co-op with them, and then you go for the monsters and for the enemies. There, of course, are respawning constantly, and there are a lot of them. But the rest is just pretty much any first-person shooter. Okay, it might get quite frenetic. I would say you have some weapons. You have, of course, like everything, bombs, and then the 3 kind of weapons: long shooting weapons and short shooting weapons. And so there is another aspect here, which there is not such aspect, let's say, in Fortnite probably, which is the RPG mode. So you can actually collect prizes. You can actually collect sort of like money, and then you can spend this money and trophies to upgrade your weapons, to buy new weapons, to buy new armors, and this stuff. You get missions typically. When you get missions, it tells you like 3 people needed for this mission, 6 people needed for this mission. So you actually sign up for that mission. You wait for the group to fill, and then you are thrown into the mission. Okay, into this world. There is also, coming back to our first thing that we mentioned. So there is sort of a story behind. Which is cool to have, it actually gives you more of a sense of all the missions and so on. But of course, it cannot be like,
story, a single player.
Surprising story, a masterpiece of story. It's still it's a story to support the game. It's quite trivial, okay? So it's overall good. I liked it. I have to say that maybe I didn't spend too much time, probably. But some mechanic, not of the gameplay, but of the RPG mode are a little bit complex. They're not like extremely well explained. So sometimes you end up like wandering around saying, what the hell should I do now? How do I do this? How do I do this? Okay, where do I go? And so on. Sometimes you end up like that. So you have to maybe do some Google search to understand actually how it works. I can compare this to another free game, which is like completely free, like sort of Fortnite and also Warzone, whatever, which is Warframe. It's an older game. It's actually very cool. I liked it. I played it. Has a lot of users. It's third person, and I mean I compare it to that one because the set is quite similar. So it's still like like space future kind of thing. Okay, you select your, let's say your race. Yeah. You edit your character. Okay, so it's sort of the same. Which, by the way, somehow I also compare it to Alienation. Yeah. Which is not free, but all the people know. Also, Claudia, I think you played it, where like actually the interface to upgrade weapons and so on is quite similar to the one in Alienation. So if you like this game, surely you're gonna like Destiny. One of the things that I like the most in Destiny is like the feature which is actually in Warframe as well, to sort of fly. So if you jump and then hit again jump, you actually get like sort of like flying experience, which helps you also when you're.
Yeah, you can actually see that player doing it.
Yeah. And why is that? Like, how do they justify that in the lore of the game?
The flying thing, you have like a sort of a jet backpack that you can actually activate and fly.
All right.
All the enemies also have that. So
okay.
One thing that has to be said about Destiny is that although Destiny is available on multiple platforms, right? So it's available on PC, on Google Stadia, even PS4, Xbox, not on mobile phones as far as I know. It's not cross-play. So if you have a PS4, you cannot play with someone that has an Xbox or vice versa, or PC, and that's a big downside for me because you see, I would rather play Destiny than Fortnite. I would rather prefer Destiny. That world is a little bit more appealing to me. The story, albeit trivial, it's a little bit more appealing to me. The fact that you actually have a story, there's a little bit of a lore in the world, and I like the co-op with players against the artificial intelligence. But yet there's no cross-play. So that's a big downside, right. And Bungie, which are the developers, they should really fix that. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, I like to play. Go ahead, Claudio.
No, that's indeed the strength of Fortnite. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Fortnite became popular.
Danny, I actually don't know if you said it already. Maybe I missed it, but like should someone play Destiny, right? Why? Is it a good game, even for a casual gamer, right? Because let's face it, this episode is not about pros. This episode is about stuff. People like us. We had no idea about these online games since 2 months ago. So, should someone that is looking into gaming or these kind of games for the first time actually have a look at that? Check it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Why not? I mean. I put in Destiny some hours of play, and it's entertaining. Okay, again, I'm not like a huge fan of shooter, but it's definitely entertaining. So why not? Yes, I wouldn't spend like 10 hours a day on Destiny myself, but I know that there are people that are very very keen to this kind of games, and they're gonna like it. I mean, it's a good first-person shooter. Totally, yes.
Oh, it's solid. I like it. And you would say, once again, in said perspective of someone, first timer, not very much experience with games in general, all these kind of games, because Fortnite, easy. You download it, pretty much self-explanatory. You're in there, right? So Destiny, I mean, it took us the first time we tried it a little bit to kind of like get even into the first mission.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I mentioned that. Yes, Fortnite is much more straightforward because it doesn't have any RPG
elements.
mode. It doesn't have any story, nothing. It's always the same. For here, yeah, you need probably to listen to every single character a little bit, to do a tutorial, to maybe do some Google search if you want to go on with the story and so on. So in that sense, yeah, and I think that part could be done easier, let's say.
Okay.
But still.
So you find it a little clunky, as I do, to be honest with you. There is one game that I thought about talking about and even choosing instead of Fortnite, and then I didn't. And that game, I think, Claudio, you've never played it so far, but Danny and I had a good few runs. That game is actually Call of Duty Warzone. I didn't pick it just because... Not because the game isn't good. The game is actually really good. And just like Fortnite, when it's not widely available, you cannot play this on a mobile phone. I mean, you can play a version of Call of Duty, but it's not this one. Although Xbox, PC, and PS4, you'll have it, and you can play against, cross-platform. I'm really bad. I die instantly. And then every time you die, you get respawned into this kind of gulag thing, and you have to fight your way out. If you lose, then you're kicked out and you re-enter the whole thing. So it's a little clunky in that sense. Although the plunder, is it the plunder? The plunder mode?
I am.
Which is kind of like identical to the one in Fortnite, in which you basically are separated with team, and the person that has the most kill, wins. The plunder mode is actually really, really good, and definitely better. I'm not good at these kind of games, but definitely check it out. It's free, once again, just like Fortnite, completely free.
One thing about this is probably the latest release of a free game, because it came out in March this year, right? Very recent. So of course you need like some sort of like hard disk space.
Oh yeah.
Or some GPU, which and the graphic is impressive. It's like all the latest Call of Duty. So it's good. I like also the stealth. There is more stealth here than in Fortnite, I would say.
Yeah.
But this also turns back on you, because you might just walk around and then you're dead. That's it.
Or like happened to me, I just walked out of a building and someone ran me over with a truck. Like straight away. It was kind of like a Benny Hill scene, like straight out from Benny Hill, like literally out like that. We all play Fortnite, but you, Claudio, never actually, well, correct me if I'm wrong, never played Destiny and Call of Duty. What did you think? What was your first impression when you saw them today? Like, is any of that appealing to you?
Right, so Call of Duty, of course, I did play with the old Call of Duties. I did not play with the last year's ones. But I did recognize exactly what you were saying. As in, even the previous Call of Duties that I played them at a friend of mine's place. And it was particularly good. So it was showing me, let's say, that's how you played. And when I thought I got the hang of it and I tried,
you died.
I failed miserably. Over and over and over. There were just too many people, too much better, so just much better than me. So I do understand the problem of, for a casual gamer, as I suspect I still am at this particular stage of my life, to kind of get the entry phase, it can be tricky. It may even discourage you. Persisting.
Especially but even if you're not a casual gamer, like I wouldn't say I'm a casual gamer, I'm not, but I'm not into first-person shooters. If you are not into first-person shooters, oh my god, you're gonna die a lot. Yeah,
and for what concerns having a bit of a more mature or even story in the game that you play, in my head, that's kind of more for when you play alone, though. I'm not entirely sure that I would go for a co-op game or a multiplayer game. I'm referring now to Destiny.
Right.
Because I do prefer, if we are speaking about which kind of game is better between Fortnite and, say, Bioshock, kind of first-person shooter. We are speaking of almost two completely different words. BioShock is a proper game with a story. It captures you. You just cannot stop playing with it.
So basically, you're saying that Destiny wouldn't appeal to you. Is that what you're saying, ultimately?
Well, what I'm saying is, no, not per se. I'm gonna give it a look because hey, it's for free. Like let's start from the assumption that we should all try all of these games.
Yeah,
Because really,
It's free, like, you know, yeah.
But what I meant is more that for games, let's say the more complex the plot is in a first-person shooter,
Yeah.
the more I want to play alone. The more I don't want to have, you guys over the microphone talking shit. That's actually why I like Fortnite. It's the kind of
with Destiny,
You don't talk shit. You talk about important stuff like the economics crisis.
Oh yeah, of course,
You know,
of course.
Yeah.
The next geopolitical landscape after the coronavirus. That kind of stuff.
Right.
That's Destiny topics.
Oh, I see now.
Well, so should you play these games? Short answer: yes. Give them a go. But if you are a fan of story-driven single-player games, they might not be for you, although a great way to pass your lockdown together with other friends. And that was it, ladies and gentlemen. Big question though, are you a veteran or a novice of Fortnite and other Battle Royale games, or do you actually prefer games such as Pokemon Go? Let us know either here on YouTube or on Twitter at ScreenPlayers_. We'll be back next week with ScreenPlayers news on Tuesday, where we'll be talking about the PlayStation 5 and specifically what games are we gonna see at launch. And you should tune in on Thursday, May 28th at 6 p.m. UK, either here on YouTube or on Twitch. We will be hosting a ScreenPlayers podcast live, and we'll be talking about our favorite video games characters of all time. See you then, and have a great week.